Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm with one of my dearest and nearest friends, Laura Olivares, and we have been friends for the better part of a decade. But I will tell you that even more so than a friend, Laura is a sister, a true inspiration, and doing amazing, amazing things in the world. So, Laura, say hi to everybody.
Hi, Natalie. Thank you so much for inviting me on and like sharing the early morning with me for you.
My absolute pleasure. Nothing I'd rather do to start the day off on the right foot. So, Laura, you have an amazing story, and you're the CEO of Nothing Forgotten. And you really got thrust into this world as a result of a very unfortunate circumstance. So please tell us, how did you even get started?
Sure. So it's so funny now. Now, when people ask me that question, I think current day. But thank you for bringing me back to where it all began. I think we're looking at 18, 19 years ago. I owned a small company called Be Organized. It was a very sweet professional organizing company. And, I was lucky enough to work with busy working moms, and we were organizing kitchens and closets, and it was fun and it was sustainable and it was helping me raise my son. And about 3 years into that, we got a phone call, found out that my brother was unexpectedly diagnosed and was told that he maybe had a week to live. My sister and I immediately called my mom, got on a plane, went to Hawaii, which is where he was living, and said our final goodbyes. And within less than 5 days, our entire family was there, and we were memorializing him because he had passed away. And it was completely unexpected, and it blew us all away. And me being the caregiver in the family just wanted to make it right. And about a year after my brother passed, I would say I was probably at my lowest during that time. And I realized what I was watching his girlfriend at the time, Lisa, go through from afar, because I had to get back to Chicago, which is where I was living back then. And she had to go through all of his belongings and really try to figure out from Hawaii, with his family being everywhere, where his personal belongings would go, his memorabilia, his personal items, his family photos. She wasn't going to be able to stay in the house without him financially. They were young. He was 33, I was 29, and my little sister was 19.
Oh my God.
And nobody was prepared, right?
Chills.
Right. No one was expecting that kind of devastation. And so now here you are as a family faced with it. And like I said, about a year after he passed away, I realized what I wanted to do was take that cute little professional organizing company and really focus it on folks who had lost a loved one. I didn't have the language. I didn't know how it was going to work. I just knew I wanted to help people. And I always say good old-fashioned Catholic guilt. I couldn't help my family, so I wanted to help everyone else. And there began the promise of
Catholics and the Jews have something in common. We all have guilt. There you go.
Everything based in guilt. But something really great came out of what was devastating for our families. And that is fast forward to where Nothing Forgotten is today. And we now offer 3 services. We've gone from just after death dissolution and supporting families after they've lost their loved one by repurposing, recycling, and potentially reselling, and mostly redistributing back to family members. We've added some services. And so now we work with older adults, 65 all the way to end of life. And
you must be some really pulling at the heartstrings things, because you literally are taking and quantifying a life.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Are you all Yeah, go ahead.
It's been, especially now, current day, fast forward, here we are, we've expanded. We have offices now in Chicago, in Florida, in New York. We are working with families from all over the world now. I was just about to say what our services are. When we take our older adults, 65 to end of life, where we really start now is safe living. And nothing's more important than safe and sanitized living, more today than ever before.
Right.
So we're doing everything from basic decluttering, making sure we remove those trip and fall hazards, all the way up to dealing with a hoarded situation to make sure that mom or dad can be brought back into the home with the proper care and support system so that they can stay there as long as possible.
So
But when
far and far, like, between our practices, we've seen that most people want to stay at home, and that has been your very much reality too, as well, right?
Yes, yes, and again, now more now than ever. And one of the things that I've also been watching over the last 60 plus days is adult children saying, well, we want mom and dad to stay home, but in our home. And our home is not quite prepared
Sure.
for older adult. So going in and retrofitting and making sure that you can bring mom into the environment. And it's not like the old days where you would just pack up a little suitcase and drop mom off. We really want to take into consideration how mom's going to thrive in that environment, because just because mom's moving in with her daughter or son doesn't mean that's the best time of her life. There's a lot she's going through.
And is it the best time of daughter-in-law's life? I mean, there's a lot of push and pull, right? You're talking about families.
Right.
So
Right.
I'm sure you deal with this every single day about how do we make the living situation livable?
Right. Right. I mean, so we're there to work on the safety and the sanitation. I would suggest that there's also a little bit of support in regards to the staying sane inside of that process. We are not therapists, we are not social workers, but we definitely can refer them to support the families as they're
Laura,
going.
I see a new division of Nothing Forgotten. Don't leave your marbles on the table either, and let's have a support opportunity. So,
Natalie, always thinking, always thinking.
you know me, Laura. So look, someone, so they're healthy enough to be living at home, which is
Mhm.
obviously, so you're making it safe and secure. But what if a person in, God willing, a post-COVID world were allowed to go back into the world? So what are the options? And then how do make it such that the possessions that make up our life get to the right people at the right time?
Right. Um, Good question. So it's interesting right now. There's so much in the media regarding assisted living communities, independent living communities, and the reality is that our older adults do want to stay as independent as they possibly can, if possible. So I even think, even inside of a COVID world, I don't know if we're ever going to get to a point where it's a post-COVID, right? It'll never be completely gone. So it'll always be something that we have to consider and think about in regards to the safety of our older adults, but as well as the rest of our family members. So if an older adult is interested in relocating out of the environment that they're in, let's say they're in the family home, 4 bedrooms, they raise their kids, their grandkids there, and it's far away from their loved ones, and they realize they want to get closer, or they realize, those stairs where my master bedroom is, it just doesn't really work for me anymore. No matter how much we retrofit this space, I need to relocate. So that's where we'll come in and we'll do a senior downsize and relocation into a new, safer community or apartment. In some cases, really what we do is we work hand in hand with the older adult. If they have capacity to make the decisions to move, we want to empower them to decide what's important to them and what really should be taken to their new location. Now, inside of doing those specific services for our clients, there's a lot that we now take into consideration. That's more of a face-to-face interaction. So all of our staff is heavily trained and well garmented in PPE. Any client-facing situations, we have everything from our basic surgical masks to gloves to full hazmat suits if necessary, or just a barrier between our clothing and the client. And we also wear the guards if necessary. If we have someone who has visual impairment or auditory impairment, we want to be able to be close enough but not put them at risk. So all of those things are being taken into consideration in the current COVID world, but the need for the client to be relocated and the need for their safety hasn't changed. So we've adjusted so they can continue to do the things that mean the most to them.
Laura, and as I'm hearing you speak, I'm really thinking about how much stuff, right? So like a senior is moving in either with their kids, adult children, or to an assisted living facility, what have you, what's the percentage of stuff that they actually take with them?
Honestly, it's actually one of the reasons why we get brought in, because the adult children are trying to navigate and negotiate with their parents, and really what's likely is they're probably going to take about 10% of what they have.
Right, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
So 90% of our stuff
Mhm.
is probably shit.
Well, here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll say to an adult child. 100%, well, to an older adult, that entire home, 100% of it is important to them. Now, 10% is going to go with them. And it's our job to find out what the most important parts of that 100% is. And so what we'll do is we'll work with that older adult to pick and choose the perfect artwork that maybe her husband bought her on their anniversary, even though the kids can't stand it and they think it's the ugliest thing in the world, but it's more meaningful to mom. Or dad's favorite chair, the kids can't stand it, it's 50 years old. We make sure that it's restuffed and safe and it goes into the new home, and that makes dad happy. So we assist during those decisions, but then there's where everything else goes. So there's family distribution. It's interesting, when someone is alive and healthy, the adult children don't really want much of what mom and dad have to offer. When mom or dad has passed away, and more so now inside of the tragedy of loss and COVID and not being able to say goodbye to mom or dad, what we're seeing is a shift. More items are actually being distributed within the family. The other the other shift we're seeing is we're doing so many video assessments where we're on site, and the family members, no longer is it falling just to the daughter or the daughter-in-law or the sister. Now all the family members can join that video and help make decisions. And also, some people would think that'd be overwhelming, but what it really does is it alleviates all of the stress of it all falling to one person to make a decision. And now the sons are like, wait, but I want mommy's whatever that was, the China set that I never thought about. I don't even
chills again, because it's really, truly, this is an opportunity in our world to be empowered and speak about what you want and really have that conversation, hopefully before death.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So now whether that's during the downsize and really looking at, you know, what's meaningful to you, and what I find really it's been really beautiful, honestly, is when the family members all dial in and then they share their memories. Like, the assessment still continues as an assessment, and we're documenting everything that the family wants or what the older adult needs or whatnot if it's during a relocation. But then there's also the sharing of the stories, and everything that we do with their family's permission, we actually record and then we give back to the families. So they get to keep and review, and if it's moments of, you know, maybe it's the last time they'll see their mom or dad on video and interacting with all of the kids, all of the grandkids.
Beautiful gifts you're giving them.
Yeah, without the intention, like I said, what we've seen sort of come out of this, in some ways, hell, is some really beautiful things and some really great conversations, and watching these family members really reconnect, regardless of wherever they're at.
Laura, you are just inspiring and lighting a fire in me, because I'm just thinking, oh my God, the closure that most people don't get, which is why they come to fight their brother and sister. And like, it's all because I didn't feel heard. I feel like that 5-year-old child, and mommy loved you more. That is the source of so much conflict, so many lives, you know, ruined because of that disbelief. And you were giving these people their final gift, both for the parents and the children.
Right.
It's so beautiful.
It's thank you. And it's honestly, it's a gift. It's a gift to be a part of it. You know, I explained earlier why I started this entire company, and to be reminded over and over again of the importance of your family and the importance of connectivity. And during a time where we all feel so disjointed and so disconnected and so fragmented, where we can, again, even during the scariest of times, take a moment, and sometimes it's just an hour, It's just an hour of their time where they've all gotten the opportunity to connect, whether it be, like I said, to memorialize mom or dad, or really support them during their next phase. So it's been great. It's been an honor, honestly.
You know, I am honored to have you in my life and as a friend. We're all honored to really learn from your unbelievable experience. If you could leave our viewers with, you know, the lessons you've learned from people at the end of life to how to live their life now, to be, you know, better, stronger, more amazing lives, what would you tell them?
Um, oh, you're going to make me cry. I was not prepared for that question, but thank you for it. Take the time to say the things that you want to say to people, and now more than ever. And it doesn't matter if it's on video, and it doesn't matter if it's recorded. It doesn't matter. Pick up the phone and have a conversation. Hear the voice of your loved one. Say the things that you've thought, but you've never had the opportunity to say them. Say them. Tell them that you love them, that you miss them, that you honor them, that they drive you crazy, but love them anyway. Because there might not be another opportunity. So take it if you have it.
So beautiful, and I'm tearing up. Laura, you have started all of our days off on the right foot. You've given us so much invaluable information about truly, let's keep the things that are important to us, and let's have the conversations with the people and tell them, I love you. I see you. And no matter what we've been through, the love is always strong. And my friend, I love you. And thank you for this amazing, amazing interview. And safe travels.
Thank you. Thank you. Stay safe.
You too.